A lot of times when I talk to dudes and I find this common theme, they're looking for so much fulfillment outside of themselves. And I always tell them, peace and purpose is an objective that's attainable. If you're looking for happiness in this world, you might as well go ahead and check yourself into a mental institution, especially as a man. Trust me. Now, the energy I get from others is just incidental. That's me operating on on the plane of peace and purpose. And that's what's important. And I'll tell you something, man, because a lot of dudes think that they can get certain things from relationships, from women, especially looking to be completed by women, to get energy from women. Why are you trying to get fulfillment from a creature that runs on emotion, that don't even like their own face, that lives in insecurity? They walk around every day with makeup on and whatever. They don't even like their own face, constantly picking away at their own body. Many times they don't got nothing to give you. Why are you trying to extract something from a creature that doesn't have anything to offer you most of the time? Now, I'm not talking about you ladies out here that are raised with a certain healthy self-esteem. Salute to you. I'm not, look, again, this peaceful life is not anti-relationship or any of this stuff. I'm just saying for most men, they focus on the wrong thing. As opposed to focus on peace and purpose, they focus on attaining some level of fulfillment from the wrong things. And that's where the mistake happens. I see a lot of brothers, even when I travel overseas, you realize right now, there's some guy probably sitting in some bar in Pattaya or some other places around the world, surrounded by punani. Punani is everywhere. But he sits there and he drinks himself to death. You know why? Because he lives a life without purpose. I've been to all of these places. The difference between me and these guys is when I go to places, the first thing I do is purpose, peace. When I get to a gym, I find hobbies, my passions, I travel, I get involved in the things that I enjoy, especially with nature, the nature trails, all these things that I love, that I enjoy for myself. That keeps me healthy, keeps me happy. And I socialize and I interact with people and build relationships pursuing my passions and my hobbies. So, I'm not, the women are there, and I'd be a liar and say I don't enjoy them. I enjoy them, but that's not my purpose. Every day I sit down at the evening time, I write down a list of things that I need to do today, or hobbies or passion, or things I need to fulfill, goals, objectives, hobbies. I'm into the cars and stuff like that. I just rebuilt the 2 cars I did. And there's things in life that I pursue that have nothing to do with women. And they're my purpose and my hobbies. I managed life a certain way with debt and expenses. Because we know I'm not a religious person. We always talk about the Bible and, the borrower is slave to the lender. So having low debt gives me a certain level of peace. My exercise routine, my time in nature, my hobbies, my passion. I love the finances. I love the auto repair. I love all these things. Right now I'm testing that Valvoline Restore and Protect on my 2 vehicles, and I love it. This thing is purring like a kitten. That stuff works. So I have all kinds of things going on in life. My relationships with people and all those things. But first, I got to get fulfillment for myself. And that's the energy that I get from others is just incidental. Period. And I find that a lot of guys, and most of the times it's just the male hormones too. And I always tell guys, loneliness is just horniness turned upside down. A 1-hour massage and a tune-up will cure most men's problem. I ain't never seen a bunch of, most of these guys, if they don't have purpose, you're going to be lonely. And again, loneliness has nothing to do with being alone. It's the way people make you feel there's a lot of lonely married men out here. People talk about single men and loneliness. What about the married dude who's lonely? Because you don't have to be alone to be lonely. You could be with somebody. Most of the times men are alone is when they're in relationships. It's the way they feel, where they're just providers and resources, where there's nothing being poured into them, no affection, no emotion. They're just paying bills like droids every day, walking around, pay the bills, take care of everybody else. That's a lonely man. He could be at a table full of people and be lonely. You could be married and alone. I got to do a video on that. A lot of guys are married and alone in this modern area, and many of them are ranked in the house below the dog. The dog is ranked higher than them. He's just a wallet and a resource. I see guys in the shopping, when I go shop for my grocery, dude's walking with his disrespectful wife or girlfriend. She don't respect his act. The way she talked to him, come on over here, do that. You're like, yo, oh, disgusting. He allowed that. He allowed that bullshit. But it's like the death of 1,000, cuts, where his self-esteem has been eroded because he's trying to keep the peace. He's trying to keep the peace. He's locked in with the system. He's compromised one bit at a time till he's completely lost all control of his life. And many times, too, we're not really truly ourselves until we are alone. When we're alone is when we truly ourselves. But peaceful life is itself all the time, 24/7. Yes, at this point in life, I don't give a rat's ass about what people think, about what I say or how I move. As far as I'm concerned, even this YouTube shit, if YouTube wants me to go away, YouTube can kick rocks. As many of the other people, the men or anybody else, I say what I think, I keep it moving. At the end of the day, that's the way I position myself in life. I just say what I think and keep it moving. But the problem is that we're focusing on the wrong thing, trying to get energy from things that got nothing to offer you. They don't got shit to offer you, dude. They struggling. They can't even make it. They got mental problems. They got issues. They don't even feel good about themselves. And you're trying to get something out of an empty container? Why are you trying to get fulfillment out of something that's an empty container? As opposed to getting fulfillment from the things that you could control, which is the man in the mirror. That's the only thing you can control, is you and what you do every day with your life. Like here, I'm about to hit my, obviously I get my mood setting walk. Obviously the market's open at 9:30. I got a bunch of shit lined up I got to do today. Right. So I already have a list of things that need to be achieved and accomplished within the day. So I have a purpose that I need to fulfill. And that's why I talk about this channel, because a lot of dudes, like sometimes the manosphere which, again, the manosphere to me is only a reaction. That's all it is. A reaction to this disturbing world where they've attacked and tried to redefine and, pervert masculinity and manhood, and this gynocentrism that exists in society, where they want to get men to be these disposable tampons, to hold on to a social contract that feminism and the government and corporations have destroyed. But they still want men to be obedient cattle and droids and sacrifice themselves for people who can give a rat's ass about them. That's what I push back against. Again, as far as I'm concerned, I am a guy that believes in limited government and all of those things. I have more of a libertarian mindset towards life with many things, but neither here or there. The problem is that many times, often men look for fulfillment or the things that have no fulfillment to offer you. And when the answer is really you. And that's really what it comes down to. But if you think about it in life, we see how many people are lost in this idealistic view of how they think that you're supposed to live life. And when you don't live a certain way, you're even programmed to believe that your life is a failure or your life is missing something. When in reality, you're just living a life opposite of what the social programming has indoctrinated you to do and what has indoctrinated you to be. And a lot of guys got to get comfortable with that. And that's the hard part. You still have a mindset and a mentality based off a time period in the past that does no longer exist anymore in the modern world. And that's the problem with it's the adjustment and the adaptation, where you get fulfillment from different things in life that have nothing to do with relationships, or even within a relationship. You maintain a certain level of autonomy and freedom and a mindset that where you get your peace, where you get your purpose, where you get your mission in life from things outside of that person laying next to you. Because often, many times, they don't got nothing to offer you and they just trying to survive in this world. So that's the conversation I wanted to have today, is that a lot of times I see guys chasing happiness, which is fleeting, is not enduring. Peace is enduring. That's an achievable goal. There's ups and downs of valleys and, sadness and, things that don't go your way, people that act a certain way, or people that disappoint you, people who betray you, people that do different things. And many times people take it personal, but it's really not that. They're just involved and engulfed in their own life and their own struggles. And the question is, why are you trying to extract from them in the first place? They probably don't got nothing to give you. Purpose is a more reliable source of energy for men, because purpose is enduring. It's ever fulfilling. Anytime I can find, like when I complete a repair project or whatever else, that shit is satisfying, to fix something, to do something, to achieve a goal, or for something that I'm working on, to see it working, to see a work in progress completed. And those things are fulfilling. Very, very fulfilling. Trust me, I have a whole bunch of stuff that I enjoy doing every day. And that's where I get my peace from. Like right now, like I said, I'm about to hit this walk, get my miles in today, which really sets the mood for how my day is going to go. You know what I mean? The relaxation, the nature, the water, the wildlife. I don't even put any music on my ears. It's just purely, nature that I enjoy. And I think once you get to that point in life, and it's obviously it's different for young men, because obviously most young men, they want to get married, they want to have kids, they want to have family, and those arrangements can be made. They can be made, but have the arrangement from a rational, reasonable perspective based on the modern world. Maybe there needs to be more contracts involved. Maybe there needs to be expectations. If we understand the system and the majority of these marriages don't work out, and you have to have contracts in place where if they don't work out, there's a system in place where your life is not totally destroyed, or you don't have an expectation of this person that's unreasonable based on the modern world. You don't look at that as an enduring thing, or maybe some things may be enduring. It may last. Maybe it may last even more if you don't look at it as an enduring thing, and you understand the nature of human beings, and they're always changing, always evolving, always different. But if you have a purpose and a goal, and that goal is achieved, maybe that alone is success within itself. So there's a lot of things to think about. There's a lot of things to reason with, but a lot of times I think men have unreasonable expectation from the people around them, especially now in this environment right here, where it's a complete and total gynocentric environment where men get no grace. Shit, give yourself some grace and develop a unapologetic masculinity, kick rocks mentality. I don't need nobody to give me no grace, because I'm going to move the way I'm going to move. And your feelings is about the last thing on my mind, because at the end of the day, when shit go bad, the first thing they're going to ask a man is, what did you do wrong? How did you fail her? Because that's just the way the society is set up. Every failing is considered a man's fault. So you already know they're going to blame you for shit anyhow. So why don't you proactively move accordingly, where you don't even explain yourself? Because many times trying to explain yourself, everything is going to be used against you anyhow, weaponized against you. So why even bother? Try to explain yourself from people that have been programmed to believe that you are the problem in the first place. That you're guilty, or you're a monster, or you're part of this evil whatever patriarchy these ridiculous crazy people make up in their minds. And you're indicted. Like, who the hell's going to live in that system where that's why these weird feminists come up with these weird, well, men should be born in jail and earn their way, because they already think of you a certain type of way in this gynocracy. And I understand that has to change. But then how is that going to change? It's going to change when dudes just say kick rocks. That's how it changes. Where you just look at them with a certain level of indifference. Where you understand, that's why I focus so much on self-esteem on this channel. Okay, that's fine. Okay, goodbye. I'm not going to do anything to aid in my own disrespect. Period. I'm not going to support policies, pay taxes to fund my own disrespect. I'm not doing any of that shit. I don't care. I don't care if men end up where we living in wooden cabinets and camping out in the woods. I won't do a damn thing that facilitates my own disrespect. That's how you do it. Okay, no problem. Kick rocks. I'm out. That's how you do it. That's how you get change. In terms of being treated with respect. Okay, you want to play a game, a rigged game of this unfair gynocracy? How about this? How about I just lay flat and just do all the things that benefit me and tell you to kick rocks? How about that? Huh? Again, you don't have to participate in that bullshit. And why do you have to play a rigged game? You're competent, you're skilled, you're talented. Go, you can live a life. I mean, pre-owned is everywhere. Sure, they're selling it. I'm not saying you should buy that stuff, but they're selling it every damn where. So why do you have to play a game, a rigged game, that doesn't benefit you? You can sometimes the solution is none of the above. What are you, desperate? None of the above. Okay, well, that's no problem. I'll take none of the above. How about this? Huh? None of the above many times is the answer. Why do you have to take option A, B, or C? Or D? I could take option none of the above. I mean, we could play this game all day long. But why do you have to take bad deals as a man? And that's what a lot of times this channel, like, why do you have to make a decision about that? You could just tell that whole situation to kick rocks. But anyhow, that's just my 2 cents for the day. I'm about to get my walk on this morning. I got my morning coffee. Peace is beautiful, gentlemen. Protect your peace. Nobody cares about a man's peace. Nobody. Again, life is not perfect. But one thing for certain, you can make certain moves in your life that you can live in peace. Keep your cortisol down, keep your stress level down, and don't be afraid to tell people to go against the social programming and to tell people who offering you a pot of bullshit to kick rocks. I don't need to participate in none of this bullshit that you're all talking about. At the end of the day, work hard, invest, save your money, work for freedom. That's what I don't work for materialism. I work for freedom. That's what I do. And every year I get more free, if that's even possible. Anyhow, peace and blessings to you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. I'm out. Take care.